Well, as we were just talking about, not only are you a serial entrepreneur, you've had many companies, exited many companies. Right now, you are in the middle of that process. So I'd love to just hear what got you into this. Why has this become your passion? What about this sets you on fire?
That's a fantastic question. Necessity is the mother of all invention. And the truth be told, it has been a necessity.
Mhm.
I grew up in a family where I was the first person to properly read and write, the first person to finish high school. I come from Cape Town, as we mentioned, apartheid South Africa during a very difficult period of the country's history, where we couldn't get certain products, we didn't have television, and also we were poor, and we were poor whites, which is a very small grouping of South Africa. According to the RSA Gov statistics, less than 8,000 people recognized
Mhm.
as poor whites in Southern Africa. And I I always knew that I probably wouldn't go to proper school. I wouldn't graduate an Ivy League or a red brick as it's known here, and get to be a doctor or anything like that. I could have followed my sort of grandfather's role. He went and got a job in the council, which allowed us a council house, which allowed 8 of us to live in it. I could go the uncle route, which he went and became a apprentice for electrician, which was amazing. I could go my aunt's route and become a bookkeeper. Um, or my dad's route, which was sell something, sell a lot of that something, and get yourself out. But I also watched my dad in that whole period complain about the people he worked for. And then when he
Mhm.
finally became a manager, he complained about having to manage people. So I was like, okay, here's the thing: never be a boss, never have a boss. That's going to be mantra number one. Number two, find a way to build a company that allows you freedom, that follows that rule of never be a boss, never have a boss, and that you can just not have a ceiling above you because of education or because of geography or because of any other things that I grew up sort of struggling with. And also, I had dyslexia. I still have dyslexia. I have ADHD. And I was really worried about how I would fit in to a company structure with this kind of situation. I mean, now we know it as neurodiversity, but back then I just knew it as another problem that I had of education plus all this. So I started my very first business at 5 years old, which is a little bit nuts. But my Yeah, I sold circus tickets to the council flats that I lived in.
I
Um,
sold pine cones in the front yard for 10 cents.
Oh my God. Okay, well, yours was much better than mine. I literally sold tickets because I knew everyone wanted to go to the circus. I had no idea how I was going to put on the circus. I took the money, I ran, I spent it so they couldn't get it back. And then my grandmother walked in, saw me with all these sweets, like shoveling it in my mouth. So I don't want anyone to take it away from me, and said, okay, well, congratulations. You've learned rule number one, which is to sell something before you've got it. Rule number two is you now need to make it. You need to execute on it. You wouldn't have used those words, but this is what I learned, and go and do it. So I got kids to play elephants and lions and jugglers and clowns, and the parents all came to our place and kind of stood there and watched their kids, and no one asked for their refund, which was amazing. And we gave some of my sweets away, and it worked really, really well. And that was kind of the start of my entrepreneurial route. It was this kind of idea of how do I get out of South Africa? There's in the film Blood Diamond with Leonardo DiCaprio and I forget the gentleman's name, Dijon, where the character picks up the sand and he says, "Do you ever wonder why the sands of Africa are red? It's for all the bloodshed and all the blood passed on this land." And I said to my grandparents, how did you get here and why did you come? Like, I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to transverse this great pilgrimage that you took. It turns out that there were convicts. And like 5,500 convicts were brought to South Africa, and we were in that family boat. But I was like, I want out. Like, I will find a way out. And business allows that. Business gives you those opportunities. It allows you to work out where you want to live and how you can live and how you can support yourself. So that's why I've been starting businesses for as long as I can remember.
Ah, that's brilliant. And such treasure in terms of lessons learned, even at 5 years old.